Ready.
All right.
Officially.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Boop, boop. Water. Sparkly water and water.
A little healthy today.
I just don't want to open anything. Oh, excuse
All
me.
right.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello.
I'm Lorrie.
And I'm Mel. Welcome to the chaos.
I don't think we said our names last time.
Huh?
I don't think we said our names the last time.
We didn't?
Mm-mm.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we got it. It's all right.
It's been 60 plus episodes. You know our names already. I hope so.
It's so good to have. Hello. How are you? How was the concert on Friday?
Oh, the concert was good. The concert was really good. Our seats were really, really high in the nosebleeds.
Where was it at?
And it was higher. It was what?
Where was it? Yeah. Like
it was at Barclays.
Oh, it was at Barclays. Okay.
It was at Barclays, yeah. But it was like super high up there. Like we didn't know it was gonna be that high. And we felt like we friggin' scaled the mountain because it was that high.
I've never been in the nosebleeds at Barclays, so I mean, they look pretty up there. They look steep. You know, like the kind where it's kind of like if you misstep, you're gonna fall.
See, Lorrie, it was really, really steep. Like it was so steep. We were like in the wall, like on the wall. That's how far back our seats were up high. And to get in and out of the aisles, we had to hold each other's hands to make sure that we didn't topple over. Because you know how many times I saw my Final Destination death? Every time I came in and out of the aisle, I was like, oh. This is scary.
Nosebleeds in arenas are kind of wild, to be honest. Because I've been in quite a few. Like, I've been in Quicken Loans Center, which is in Ohio and Cleveland. I've been, obviously, Oracle Arena. Oracle is pretty old, too. So the nosebleeds were a little sketch. And when I used to have tickets for Warriors that were in the nosebleeds, I'd, like, feel bad. I try to like use my lower level tickets for my parents since they're older. You know, I was, you know, like, nice. You know, I don't want my parents climbing up this fucking dangerous, when my dad was bad knees, you know, going up these fucking nosebleeds.
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, I'll give them to my sister though. I'll be like, you can fucking go up there. It's fine.
Right. No, bro. They were really fucking high. I was like, what? And then, I mean, but so Flo, you know, the girl group Flo, they opened up for Kehlani. So they were pretty good. Okay. I enjoyed them. It gave Destiny's Child. Okay. They were singing. But they were good. And then Kehlani finally came on. Oh, you know who sort of DJ'd? Funk Flex DJ'd.
Interesting.
In the beginning. And I was like, you know Funk Flex. Funk Flex gotta interrupt every fucking song he plays. You know. But he's annoying. But he went on and he was like, oh, Kehlani about to turn this up into a club, like whatever, because she has said that's gonna be like a music festival. It's gonna be like a festival with her friends and stuff. So no, but she really killed it. She was singing. Oh
yeah, her mic is on. The times I've seen her mic is on for sure. The
mic is on.
The last time I saw her, IP for Charlie and stuff for our anniversary, and so we went to sound check. I mean, I already knew her mic was on, but like we went to sound check, so we knew the mic was on. You know.
Because that's a little... She was singing and she was dancing her ass off.
She dances the whole time.
Her dancers killed it. Her dancers killed it. There was some... So I really... She does. I really like the transitions between like the old stuff and the new stuff. A lot of the songs like really... Like the older songs coincided with the older songs when they the newer songs transitions really, really well. What else? No, man, she was singing. I was really impressed. It was my first time seeing her, so I was just like, I was enjoying it most of the time. Halfway into the concert, we went downstairs, the lower
lower level
part of our section, because we had to. Like, also in the beginning of the concert, we were actually trying to get tickets so we could get in the on the floor, because we didn't realize how high it was gonna be. We were like, damn, let's try to get tickets down there, they must be like really cheap right now. But it was so, Lori, it was so high that our phones were so slow and couldn't get the signal. So we ended up just going down there, like literally by the stairs for the second half of the concert. And that it was good. It was really, really good from there. There were these two people that got us on our damn nerves, because it was these two white people, and they had really, really good seats, like right below us. And they were just there the whole entire time. Not moving a fucking muscle. Just there. No dancing, no nodding. Like, who did you come for?
It's like those videos, like when Beyonce went on tour, like when people are doing videos, because like they're like, what's with these people who don't dance, or they expect her to do like the one or two songs they know from like albums ago,
Yes. I feel like they just came for the vibes, just to see what it was about, and they were just there sitting down. Yeah, she did older stuff in the beginning, newer stuff at the end, for sure. She did Sucia. She sang 8. That was cute. Choreography was fire.
Yeah, she usually has like, Kelly usually has like good dancers for every time, and then also dancing.
They were killing it.
I think who
they were really killing. She did Water.
Me and Charlie got tickets 2 weeks ago. I'm like on that Do NYC thing. It's like a subscription, like $7 a month or whatever. But you get tickets to, they'll like give you a list of tickets that you get tickets to. But I got free tickets to Omar Apollo, and I love him. So.
Oh, that's what you got. Okay, yeah.
And
he's cool.
We went to Forest Hills, and I wasn't expecting, but he had like, his dancers were really good, and he also dances a bunch in it, and they're really good. Oh yeah, a lot. He's very he loves a good spin. He loves a dance. He loves a little ISO here and there,
Okay, fire.
No, it was really good. His dancers were really good. Me and Charlie were very surprised, and he also had really interesting lighting like going on that I haven't really seen in other shows before. He was really good. His show was really good, honestly.
I love that. That's cool.
He was great.
Okay. That's good to know. No, but she did the Cater to You version of After Hours.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No. It was pretty good. And then at the end, like her daughter got on stage. She did Honey. She did Marry Me, the Bruno Mars cover.
Definitely did. She did Honey at ours too, and we're gay and we're like in the second row, and Charlie was like, it's her ringtone for me on her phone is Honey.
Oh, that's cute. That's her ringtone.
Yeah, that's been my ringtone on her phone since we started dating.
I love that song. Gay. That song is like a little special for me. And then her daughter got on stage, and I swear her daughter was wearing like a Stitch onesie, because apparently she was supposed to be asleep by then, but she was up. So she got on stage with her little onesie. It was cute. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a good time. Not gonna lie. Good first time. I wish we were closer, but it was fun.
How do you feel about anyway? Because is it an age thing that we just want to be in seats now instead of like crowd? I like feel like I don't mind crowds anymore, like on the floor. But the problem is, it's actually not because I can't be standing room anymore. It's more that I've just realized how fucking short I am, and I always get stuck with the last few times me and Charlie did it, we always get tall people in front of us, and I just don't have the energy anymore to like push myself to the front anymore. That's just not my thing. Because I hate it when other people do it. No. And that's why I don't mind seats now, but I'll just try to like get close seats.
I don't mind seats. But I need to be in a a venue where the seats kind of dipped down a little bit so that I could see over the tall people if I have tall people in front of me.
Yeah, which is like when we went to Young Miko, you know, they cascaded enough where we could see. So I was like, good.
That's
good,
what it is.
You know, but
that's what I need. But yeah, but if I'm on the floor, I'm gonna try to get there as early as possible so I could be close to the front. Because remember when we went to see Chloe Bailey?
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't even there for. I didn't see anything. We didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Like,
but also,
we didn't see anything. I almost forgot that I saw her because I could barely see her.
I always go to that venue. What the fuck is that venue again? My brain is farting.
Terminal 5.
I always go to Terminal 5 because they always get good artists, but I don't know why I keep doing it because their stage is so low.
It is.
It's just so low. And I'm like, oh man, this always kind of sucks for me when I'm here. And like
I really didn't realize that it was that low. Like, I remember the only other time I was ever at Terminal 5 was when I saw The Weeknd eons ago. And even like that time when I saw him, it felt like I didn't.
I saw Nao, but I was able to see her. I don't know what it was about that crowd, but I could see her. I don't know if there's just short people in front of me or I was just at an angle where I was kind of far back at first at the bar with Kayala. It was like when me and Kayala were first friends, like just met. And we could see from the back. And eventually I was like, is it cool if I go in the front? And he's like, yeah, I'll just chill here. So I like later on moved a little closer, but we could see, she also started like surprise people in the middle of the crowd and started singing and then made her way to the front, which was really cool. And this was years ago.
That's dope.
Like 6 years ago when I moved.
I also saw Nao. I also saw Nao like years ago too. I wonder if we saw her around the same time.
But yeah,
because I saw her in Brooklyn.
But every time we go to Terminal 5, it's just, and Charlie's getting a lot better at being on time for things. But I just know we're never going to be early to stuff. So I'm just like, I can't do floor unless like it's a seat cascading situation, and I don't want to attribute it to me being in my 30s. I think it's really just because I've gotten fucked most of the time in standing room at this point. Yeah. It sucks when you're short. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not willing to like push to the front anymore. And it's just because I kind of hate it when people are like always doing that too, you know, instead of just getting there early, but they'll shove. Like really shove and it fucking hate
I don't like the shoving. I don't like the shoving.
I mean, when we're dancing and we're close and shit happens, that's whatever. But like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is that kind of, I'm trying to like go into what our topic is, like things that are attributed to being in our 30s. Concert going, I don't think it's because I'm in my 30s. I think it's just because I've gone to so many concerts at this point that I'm just like, I'm tired of being a short fucker at these fucking shows. I'm tired of it.
You're just freaking tired.
But
that's it. Like, come on.
I guess this will be sort of serious, but also funny, you know, but just because of how we are as people. But it's kind of just the myth of like milestones, like by your 30s. Because, you know, I feel like all of us had a certain belief getting into our 30s, and I think even the younger generation like still thinks that there's certain things they should do, but I think it changes every year. But it's always been like 30 seems to be like something people always dread, or things need to be done by your 30s. And I don't know, I guess I just kind of want to talk about like what were things that people said or thought, or what you thought, or people around you thought you should have or be by 30. And you know,
I feel like let's like come out with the most obvious one here. The getting married.
Yeah, that's in my list. I have a bunch of
having kids. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's the most obvious one there is. I feel like we can definitely debunk that myth.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, this.
I feel like it's because obviously our parents' generation, like Boomer, Gen Xer, also, they're from a lot of them are still from like my parents are a bit older, so they're from a time when women didn't have a lot of rights. So I feel like that pressure of getting married was there for a reason, because you kind of needed a partner to do certain things and have certain things, which is really unfortunate. So I kind of understand from their point of view, like, why people got married so early. Still weird, though, for any of them that got married before 18, though. That's terrible. I feel bad.
That's a little weird.
That's weird.
And, you know, it even still happens to this day.
But yeah, I kind of get it. And then as people, like, obviously women and, like, also, like, queers and other people, like, getting more rights and stuff, and also technology and just advancement of just everyday life is just not needed anymore. But I feel like the generational traumas that are still in people, they still think that, oh, I should be this. Like, I don't know if I thought I was going to get married, but I did think, I don't know, I guess I'd be a little bit different in my life, I guess. At least dating someone before 30. I met someone at 30 who I'm still with, so I guess there's that.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like when I was in high school, I had expectations of what my life would turn out to be by like 27 or 28. Like, I don't think I saw myself like marrying somebody or like I didn't see myself like, I thought more of it as like as a career thing. Like, yeah, I'm like, okay, same. Like, you know, by 27, I'm like, I'm gonna have like money, honey. You know, I'm gonna have like my own place, and it's gonna be mine and mine only. For some reason, I thought that I would work at a hospital.
Medical?
I don't know.
Have you told me that
I don't know. But like, no, I haven't. It's just something that like would always come up. Like, I had like this vision in my mind that I was wearing like these cute boots and like this cute little skirt and this turtleneck, and I was working like, I don't know, some important job at a hospital. Not a doctor or anything, but I felt like I was just gonna be something important or whatever. I don't know. I was like a 16-year-old dancer when I thought about this, so I don't know what I was thinking. But like career-wise, I felt like I was gonna be in a different place. And then by like 30 or something, I was like, well, no, like I'll have kids. I'll have kids, I guess, like with whoever it is that I'm gonna be with. I guess I will. But like, you know, I didn't end up meeting somebody that I would be serious about until like last year. So, and like considering those things, you know, and then, you know, I did have another like romantic relationship when I was like 25, 26, but like that went left and that didn't happen. So I just feel like so many things happen in your life and things shift and change all the time, that when someone asks you like, do you have a 5-year plan, or do you have like,
I hate that question.
I hate that question, because I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm still on my 1-year plan. Like,
I think what's up with you? I think it's nice to have some sort of aspirations, but you know, I think it's also realistic to know that maybe they don't go exactly as you plan. But it's nice to just have something that you're working towards. But you know, it's not guaranteed. And but I also like, because I thought the same way as you, like career wise. I'm Filipino, so my parents expected that I was going to be a doctor or a lawyer because they thought they make a lot of money, which they do. Yeah. But they also literally have no lives because they're on call all the time.
Yeah, and they're in incredible debt as well. Like, I've heard about that.
But like, it's also, I just never wanted to be in medical because hospitals just make me feel sad, mostly because I just feel bad for everybody. The people who are working there, the people who are sick, just makes me sad because I wish I could help them. And you know, there's gonna be people who you can't help, and that's really unfortunate. Yeah. It's, my mom herself used to work in a nursing home and said she couldn't emotionally take it. I'm like, and you want me to do it? Like, what?
It's like, what?
Dog, I can't do that. I'm an emotional person, just generally. Isn't
it so
I'm very much an empath.
Like, isn't it so crazy that your parents like want you to be a lawyer, want you to be a doctor or whatever, and those are two of the most emotionally taxing jobs.
But also, I don't know if they really know much about those careers. You know, my mom was a nurse for a nursing home, but like, I don't know if they really know the ins and outs of actually being a doctor or nurse or a lawyer. Like, do you actually know how much that
they don't.
entails?
They just know it comes with a certain kind of prestige and money, and they're like, okay, yeah, do what you gotta do to be a doctor, whatever. And then when it becomes so draining, and they literally can't spend time with you, the person that wanted them to be the doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when it sucks, right?
Career detours, because like you and I both thought we would already have an established career by 30, but honestly I think it's okay to deviate from what you originally have. I've met a lot of people professionally who are older who went through different stages of their life and have switched from careers that are completely different from the previous, and that's okay, honestly, as long as you have like are willing to put in the work to really build that other career. But also, like, I still think Gen Z and like younger, excuse me, just with the world of the internet, I think unfortunately there's still that mindset of like, well, now it's like I need to be an influencer, or like I need to be making this much money by 20 something, because a lot of these influencers are very young, or a lot of people, are young, and I think it's unfortunately maybe even worse for Gen Z, but we already as millennials were already there, because we were pressured by our parents to have a certain career at a certain time. And then now Gen Z, with the world of social media and the internet, I think the pressure of that and seeing so many young people on platforms. I mean, the pandemic really made like a set for people to get viral and famous very easily. But now, ever since then, the market is saturated. So now it's even harder. Those people just happen to do it at the right time. It's like early YouTubers who stuck with it, you know? So unfortunately, I think the mindset of being famous by 22 is still very much in the Gen Z thinking as well, which is very unfortunate. I don't want that for them.
Yeah.
But then a lot of Gen Zs are like, I don't need to have a traditional career, which I do agree, or like college isn't as needed, which I also still agree. But there's still, I think, a lot of them that still think are pressured to like be a certain way by a certain age. I mean, it's good to be well off early in your life, because that's cool. You could get that over with. But then again,
I think
everyone is at their own pace.
I think a lot of people are obsessed with the retiring early, and I'm not knocking it. Honey, if you want to retire by 35, 40 years old, then do it. I love that for you. But I think that I agree with you in that social media and the get rich quick way to blow up online has caused people to put a lot of pressure on themselves, and it paints a really unrealistic picture of what can really happen for you if you don't put in the work that needs to happen. Because like social media is a very like tricky game, you can blow up by accident and do nothing, and then you can put all the work in and blow up in like a decade, like those early YouTubers that didn't really get their big break until like years and years later. And didn't get their first viral video until then. I think it's hard. I think it's really hard, and I think it's a numbers game, and you have to play with the algorithm. And it's something that is not easy to come by, not for everybody at least. And you have to like also struggle to have that it factor. So everybody wants to be like that girl or that boy or that them. So it's just it's tough. It's tough, and I think it's
I have some notes too, like going back to the talk of like marriage. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, like, I'm pretty sure there's like a lot of studies done on like people who married early that suggest that some people feel like they missed out on certain things like life and growth as like a person. And you can feel that also as a couple too. I mean, like not every couple is like, oh, I missed out because I married you. But sometimes as them individuals, like, did we ever go out and do stuff? So it can be not just individual, but I think there is a lot in divorce rate shows like people who married a little earlier, maybe divorce later instead of people who married maybe in their late 20s to early 30s, you know. But that's also something like now we're seeing it, and
I can't speak to too many of these situations, you know, because I feel like for the most part, I mean, I'm a child of divorced parents, and my parents married later. Like my mom married my father when she was about like just before she turned 30, I think. And they divorced 17 years later. So I feel like this can happen at any point. But I feel that it greatly depends on the foundation that you've put in the relationship. If you have a solid foundation, because I've known couples and I've seen couples that have been together like 10 years and they don't get married until like the 10th year, or like a year and they get married like at the year mark. Like it depends so much, but I feel like and I think this spans cultures. I think a lot of cultures put the pressure on people to get married really, really early. Like if you don't get married early, then you're wasting. You're wasting so much time. You're wasting years of your life. Like because the marriage comes from like the wanting to be that person to be married comes from the fact that they're gonna have kids soon, and they should have kids sooner rather than later. Because if you have kids later, then like that's gonna be like terrible on your body, or you're not going to be able to like see your kids grow up, or you know like see them be raised there. Like there's all these things, and I think there's a happy medium. You know, I feel like yes, maybe people shouldn't have kids like so late in their lives that they can't really like see their kids grow up, because my father is 80 years old and he's about to be 80 next month or in November, and I'm about to be 33. So my father had me in his 50s, and like at some point he was just like too old to like, you know, do stuff. You know, my father's pretty agile man, but like he was just like he just like didn't have the wherewithal to like, you know, do more things with us, I guess. But I feel like maybe having kids earlier could be a good thing. But I also think that having the pressure to be married by a certain age is just not healthy at all. And I think that's really put upon by our culture. Like I feel like you should.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like you relate.
I only pointed out more is just because statistically people who got married really early didn't really, I'm only pointing that out as a reason to not feel pressured to get married early, or like you can if you want to, or you can wait. Just don't feel pressure to do either way, you know. But also like I think this will go into another note I had, but like with the kids thing, and especially like having kids, like yeah, there's a happy medium. But like my sister had her first kid in like her mid-30s, and had her second one later, obviously. And your body's very capable in your 30s, even into your 40s. I think after that, maybe it'll be riskier, but like, that's all also individual and very subjective to you and your own body.
It is.
But yeah, I agree. Like culturally, for sure. I'm Asian. I'm Filipino specifically, which is very heavily Roman Catholic, which is you know, pretty intense sometimes. And pretty traditional. I mean, I kind of talked to my siblings about it a little bit because I got a random text from my sister in our little group chat. How we were just kind of laughing about stuff because somehow like dating came up. Because sometimes our parents feel like they've opened up a lot more in their older age. Because I always say that it's because they're old and tired. But sometimes they'll make comments where sometimes it feels like they're not as open. Oh, I know what happened. A picture of my niece from homecoming. She like sent it to him, and my dad was like, "What do you mean she has a boyfriend?" and all this other stuff. And my sister's like, "Yeah, that's what I said." And you know, he's like, "She's too," you know, it's the thing like don't date till you're married situation. She was like, "Wow, Dad's not as open as I thought he was." But I was like, I mean, it took him.
Like, what?
It depends on what it is. I was like, he definitely didn't want me to date when I was younger. Let alone like ending up with a woman currently. But like, it's also just like, he didn't want me to date later, but at a certain age, like early 20s, was like, when are we gonna have grandkids? It's like, what do you want? What do you want?
Oh my God. I hate that so much, because
you don't want me to date till I'm married, but you want grandkids.
Right, exactly. Like, what is it that you want? I feel like that's like such a thing. You grow up, and like you have your teenage years and stuff like that, and like your mom and your parents so badly want you like not to even look at anybody or sex. What is that?
As if you didn't have 4 children. You know what that is.
You know what I mean? I'm like, sis, do you know
can't hide
you know what you had to do.
You can't hide me.
I know what you had to do to have me. Like, what? And then now I'm like in my 30s, and now she's like, when's it gonna happen?
My brother said to me, he was like, yeah, I guess I didn't get that pressure because he was a boy. He was like, I think it's because, I was the only boy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, the only pressure I really did get from them was dating another Filipino woman. And I think this is a cultural, like, kind of commentary of, like, as you get older, is, like, dating within your ethnicity and race, which is, like, so crazy.
Exactly.
And then it's what my sister was like, I love that none of us did that.
I love that.
Not a single one of us.
I freaking love that.
We're all a mixed bunch. None of us dated. None of us ended up with another Filipino.
I love that so much. I feel like I've never dated a Dominican, seriously. Never. It's like always been outside of my ethnicity all the time. I mean, like, and now I'm like with a puro Puerto Rican. And he's my skin tone. I feel like, and I've never dated somebody with my skin tone too. They've always been Dwaka.
Dwaka.
So I have so like the myth that like being emotionally and like mentally mature by your 30s, I think it's something that definitely doesn't happen.
That myth, but it turns into like you being like not emotionally mature actually at all, because you actually learn how to hide everything. I think we learned that you should show emotion. You can't cry. You can't show weakness, essentially. That's what we learned. So we all kind of grew up with that kind of don't cry. I used to have my parents like, why are you crying? That kind of situation.
Yeah, I feel like I was always like taught to behave well. Like don't like cry, don't get upset, don't anything. Just
but then
like
teach us how to cope when you do have emotions. Like, sure, in certain situations, maybe you should learn how to control your emotions a certain way, but we never learned any like coping mechanisms when we couldn't get those emotions out, at all.
Yeah.
So cry if you need to cry, guys. Fuck.
And I think you learn those things over time. So I feel like everyone should strive to be emotionally and mentally mature, of course. But I think that a lot of people just don't get the opportunity to, or tend to avoid those emotions and conflict and anything that can do with the development of your maturity. So I feel like a lot of people like beyond their 30s are just not there, unfortunately. And they have to learn that through experience or through therapy.
Well, but that's the thing. Cool. That's the thing. Like, I feel like with our parents, emotionally mature to them was not showing weakness. When the reality of being emotionally mature, and like, yes, you do learn it through experience, and that's where we're debunking it, that it's not what our parents thought, that
no,
you should learn how to know what coping is, cry when you need to, how to act in certain situations. But really they just told us like, don't show weakness, don't cry in public, but then what do you do after that? That's what makes sometimes violent people, because they never knew how to handle emotions correctly. And it does happen to a lot of men, because I do think men are still stunted to show any emotion, especially in the older days, our parents' generation.
100%.
And then I also put
like,
therapy as a 30-year-old is essential, as you said, learned it in therapy. I think because it's not a stigma anymore, you know? Because I think that's a myth. Like, was therapy is for crazy people or people that have something wrong with them. And when I told my mom the first time I was in therapy, she was like, "But there's nothing wrong with it." It's like, and I said, it's not that something's wrong with me, Mom, but there's still things that I could get from a different view that isn't people who are in my life, that I need an outside view on things. You know, I do have things wrong with me though.
Yeah, I think a really good way of putting it, of like how I've heard someone put it is, you know, we all go to the gym to work on our physical bodies, but no one really tells us how to work on our mental health, you know? And going to therapy is very much like working on your mental health.
Yeah.
And it's not going to school. It's, you know, talking to people about what's going on in your head and breaking that down. And I think that's something that we are finally destigmatizing in our generation. I feel like when we were growing up, therapy was for crazy people.
Yeah, it's like also that word crazy, which is a word I don't like to use very much. Because I heard it too much. I think I don't like the word crazy also because growing up I heard it too much from like an older generation, but have also heard it from very toxic men that I've been around, you know? So there's like
triggering.
One way I hear it from both men and women, like family and older generation. The other side is like dating.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I am bisexual, but like I heard a lot from men. Not that I don't hear it from women too, but like it happened a lot, you know, when people talk about their exes or something.
It's weird. It's weird, you know. I think that we heard it a lot in the media where movies and TV shows where people would be like, yeah, you know, I have to go to therapy because I fucking like lashed out at somebody at work today, so now they're mandating therapy on me, or like they're sending me to therapy. I hate being here. Like, I think it was always depicted as such a negative thing in the media and just like messed up. And I feel like now it's just seen as a very good thing. Like it's a green flag on Hinge now. If you go to therapy, right? It's a green flag.
You go to therapy. What else? I have
what else you got?
Oh, body changes in your 30s. Like,
ooh.
What I'm thinking is like what we believed, like what's gonna happen. Like when people are afraid of their 30s, don't get me wrong, our bodies are different now, but I bring this out to a lot of people our age too, is that I feel like we feel worse because we didn't take care of ourselves in our 20s. And I don't, yes, age does bring certain things. Like
you say this often.
Because because like I joke about like hurting and blah, blah, blah. I just think it's funny. But I also feel like everyone just falls into this thing of like, oh, well, it's because I'm 30. And like, it's because... I tell people this all the time, is that I don't get hangovers anymore in my 30s as compared to my 20s because I was a dehydrated bitch in my 20s. It's just because I was running off of a spoonful of water and one chicken tender, you know? It's it's just a little chicken tendy and I'm good, you know? And
not even a chicken tender, a chicken nugget from McDonald's.
That's what we think. It's fun to joke about, but I just really hope people don't really think it's because my injuries that hurt my body, I didn't take care of when I was, and I always bring this out is because the second I started feeling better, I would go straight back into whatever physical thing I was doing. But I never really healed any of like my sports injuries or things like that correctly because I was impatient, and we're all impatient.
Oh yeah. I still have ankle pain from the ankle sprain that I had like 7 years ago.
I also feel like people just accept like, oh, I'm in my 30s now. But instead of growing and like, you could do stuff. I mean, you could start it early, but you could do stuff to help with building strength behind your joints and your muscles and stuff. But people just kind of accept that like, blah, 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 I'm in my 30s, so blah, blah, blah. I have like an aunt who started working out more, like a lot. She started in like her 40s. And she feels a lot better now because, like, you just did things that she didn't do when she was younger. And I think that's what the real myth is, that, yes, your metabolism does change and things will be different. You might not lose weight as quickly as you did when you were younger, but like, you don't have to hurt in your 30s, guys. I know for a fact I didn't take care of my body in my 20s and my teenage years. And I know that's why my injuries come back. No. I just didn't. I also didn't stretch enough. And like, you know, I know it's because I abused my body.
I feel like it's mobility. I think people think that when they hear the word exercise or stretching or like just going out to take a walk, I think it pains people to even think about. And when they think about exercise, they think about bodybuilders and they think about people like doing the most, where exercise doesn't have to look like that.
Anything that's not sedentary is good for you, you know?
Yes.
Go out for a walk.
Just get up.
Get up. Do something. You know, just don't be sedentary like we all did in the pandemic, because, you know, but that's a whole trauma thing, you know, that's different. But
that's a whole other thing.
You know why? It's because we abuse our bodies. I didn't respect my body growing up.
Because when you're young, you think you're invincible.
Oh, yeah.
When you're that young, you think you can freaking kill it. That's why kids are fearless.
I do also think there's extremes of that, though. I think people, when they say my body's a temple and they eat like a grapefruit and like, or whatever, I think there's extremes. I think there's a balance, obviously. It's like, I also talk about food fear mongering, especially in the US. Not that we don't have bad food, we do, but at the same time, everyone avoids so many foods. And I'm a very, I gained weight because I know for a fact I've been eating like shit. So I know how I got here, and I know how to get rid of it. It's just, I don't feel like it. You know? But I try to, because I have gotten into spaces where I was so obsessed with like watching my calories or other things. And earlier on, when we're trying to do these fitness things, you want to believe a certain way. And that's what eating disorders come from, you know? And especially in my 30s. Yeah. Sure, there's definitely things that you should be doing, like eating vegetables, goddammit. Grow up. Anyone...
Eat your vegetables, please.
Like, they're joking, obviously, but like, I'm allergic to vegetables, or I have a aversity to vegetables. You know what I say? I say, grow up.
I'm looking at, I'm side-eyeing you. If you don't eat vegetables, I'm side-eyeing
grow up, guys.
You. Like...
Come on.
It's not even just that. Like, why aren't you eating fibrous foods? Like, if you don't eat vegetables and you're complaining about any ailment in your life,
that includes myself. I haven't been eating great, and I know why. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I didn't get enough fiber
you know
today.
Why, and you know how to fix it, then fix it. But if not, if you're just complaining just to complain, por favor. Just to, I just want to piggyback off of like body and image and stuff by your 30s. I don't like it when people say things like, when people ask you your age and then they're like, oh my God, you don't look good? 30.
Yeah.
So then in your mind, what's a 30-year-old supposed to look like?
Well, Golden Girls, have you actually looked for the ages that they're supposed to be? And it's younger than you think it is. Granted, older than 30s, but TV really depicted 30s as like really old looking, and I just don't think any of us actually look like that. My mom's looked pretty young for a good while, you know. Granted, we're Asian, but it's like
sometimes it's the genes, sometimes it's
I
like
do think
it's just TV.
It's Hollywood and media, because I think celebrities are pressured to look a certain way too. But also, I think a lot of celebrities have to look for whatever part that, you know how like a lot of actors will gain weight, lose weight, whatever, it's for the part. But I think media in general, since media is so much more, has always been around since Hollywood's been around, but now that it's more accessible, you know, people think like 30 is you're supposed to be wrinkly already. I'm like, I mean, sure, maybe I have some somewhere. That's because I just have a confused look on my face all the time like this.
Or maybe it's because you laugh. Maybe it's because you enjoy life that you have laugh lines, and like maybe your face is really expressive. That's why you have some lines on your face. Like, Jesus, like I just don't understand that. I feel like personally, I think my genes and my family are pretty good. I want to say that. I feel like my father's half of the family, they look pretty young, and I think I've always looked a little younger than what my actual age is. But I just don't like that in general. I feel like it creates this image of what that's supposed to look like, and I'm sure I agree with you. Hollywood and the media has a lot to do with it, but it really bothers me.
Oh yeah, same.
It really pisses me off.
I also think the opinion of like body modifications and not talking about piercings and stuff like Botox and stuff. I actually don't. If you want to just get a teeny bit of Botox, whatever, do you. But I think people think Botox is just like you get the filler everywhere and you start looking like the celebrities who do too much work. And I think there's a stigma around that too.
Crazy.
I think. Because there's actually things you could do, just get a teeny bit of Botox just to help with like certain things.
Yeah.
And that doesn't affect your face.
And people, like as preventative,
yeah,
you
more
know?
like, and I think that's whatever, you do you. But I think people think it's still that like crazy filler where your face starts looking different, you know?
Yeah.
And you immediately look a different person.
I feel like people though are looking very, very, very young.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Tell me you've seen Christina Aguilera lately.
Oh yeah, I saw her, but she definitely got work done for sure.
I saw her the other day, and we saw her the other day, and I thought it was like AI or something like that, but it was really her, and it looked like I was back in like the year 2000 again. And Lindsay Lohan, who's doing this work on you? It's actually insane the way they look lately. Like, this is low-key kind of like upsetting, because what kind of thing are you trying to portray to these people?
Yeah.
That you look like you're 19 again, and it's a little scary.
Yeah, it's
like, I feel like we're not embracing getting older.
Well, like aging gracefully. And that's what I want to say too. I think
Yes.
There are some celebrities too, when I look at those like compilations on TikTok and Instagram where it's like this is them at this age and this is them now. There's a lot of celebrities, and then this goes for real people in my life too, but like obviously I'm doing like a wider audience here, but like celebrity photos where I'm like, I kind of think they look better older. Sofia Vergara, I think she looks better older. Like, and she's not.
Let me see.
I think she looks great.
I like Sofia Vergara. I feel like she looks beautiful.
I actually think like younger her is obviously beautiful, but like I don't know, something about like hers older looks like way finer, honestly. Or like, you know how like a lot of men look a lot better older, why people are so into the George Clooney or the Idris Elba, the kind of situation. I do think it's a different thing for women though. I think women were pressured into looking younger for a long time. And I want them to embrace
100%.
Looking.
I want to embrace all of it. I have like this like nice little patch of grays right here that I'm fucking with a lot. And the other day I was having dinner here with my family, with a lot of my family, and they were talking about grays and how like, oh, like I dye my hair like my aunts, you know.
My mom used to dye my hair.
I like my grays. I was like, I like my grays. I'm gonna have my grays. I like them a lot. And they're like, oh my God, you're not going to dye your grays? Like, because even my mom was like, oh my gosh, so you have all of this stuff there. And I'm like, I enjoy them. I like them. They're a sign of experience, honey. Like, I've lived.
Also, I feel like maybe this is another myth growing up that grays are for old, but it's also caused by stress, but also genetic. My sister's had grays since she was 9. It's just like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
But, like, kids were so mean. They used to call her, like, grandma and stuff. Like, kids are mean, bro. Like, and I've had grays since I was younger. But unfortunately, I don't get patches. I only get, like, one gray. Or, like, I get, like, one here and there. And I was like, I don't like that it's speckled.
Like the stragglers.
Yeah, I was just like...
Oh, yeah.
It's just, like, one random gray hair. I'm like, why are you here?
But, yeah. I like the idea of aging gracefully and just embracing your old age. I love seeing like older women that have like long gray hair and just people who look like they really haven't had much work done.
Angela Bassett? That was another celebrity I thought of when I like aged gracefully.
Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett is like fine wine. She just gets better and better and better. There's this girl I follow on YouTube. And like she's one of those fitness girlies. she had said, I don't know what it is about Angela Bassett's arms. I am
yeah, always
very attracted.
Always,
I'm sexually attracted to Angela Bassett's arms.
Everyone is.
I'm like, yes, everyone and their fucking mother. What the fuck?
I do want to try to wrap up on a little bit soon, but I think with all of this, I did want to combine it into like my last point that I had was that I guess it's the result, not say the myth, but the result of it, of a lot of these things is just like millennials are very prone to burnout in general. And I think, honestly, Gen Z is going to be pretty prone to burnout too, just with social media and stuff. I'm sure it's going to cause a lot. But I know for sure millennials are probably a generation that is very prone to burnout. I don't think our parents were necessarily, because they got paid because of like the financial difference between the generations and how it's much harder to pay for shit now, whether, boomers want to believe that or not, but it is.
Yeah.
It's just like career costs, delayed career success, whatever that means to people. What did I write? Layers of pressure and responsibility, really. Like, because we were that generation that we should go to college. I think all our parents, now Gen Z is getting privy to the fact that you don't necessarily have to go to college, but you can if you really want to, if that's what you want to do. You do your thing.
Right.
But like we were all like, I have to go to college, and now I'm in debt. So
yeah.
I went into debt at 18. I signed a thing. It's just weird that all of a sudden we're allowed to just decide a big life thing at 18 because we're adults or whatever.
That's crazy to me.
And I was still too young to really know that,
Yeah.
We just don't get we don't get the rewards that our parents got for their hard work. And we were told to work hard. And not that you shouldn't work hard, but it's just that doesn't get us the same things anymore. So we burn out hard.
It doesn't. I think that we went to college because we didn't really see a viable option other than that. Whereas Gen Z now, they have so many options. And I feel like there were so many opportunities online now than there was like when we started going to college. I feel like you can learn anything online.
I guess the myths are like this. What this burnout combines with, the myths were go to college to be successful.
Yeah.
Working hard is all you need to do. And what was the third one I was gonna say? My brain farted right in the middle of that. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. It's still work. I don't care if you love it. It's still work, and you'll still burn out. Actually, I think you burn out harder in the things you love.
Because you love to do it so much.
Well, once you make your passion or your interests into a profession, that pressure of having to pay your bills with it makes you love it less sometimes, and it really brings that burnout real hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think those are the myths that, the burnout, what the result of the burnout is,
100%. I think that, yes. And to piggyback off of that, you burn out because you love to do it so much that it becomes your entire life and it becomes the breadwinner. Like now you're relying on that thing to get you your money.
And then you get kind of stuck.
Your actual
and then it's hard to, you can change careers, but I think a lot of us are too scared to do it, because we went with this one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like me and I know a lot of people. But yeah, it's just...
I mean, same here.
Honestly, I don't want to work anymore. Today, my coworker was like, because we were just getting frustrated with some other teams that we had to work with. And I heard her whisper. Well, not really whisper. She whisper said to me, she was like, I guess I need to marry rich soon.
When I tell you I'm over work, I'm sick of it. I don't want to work anymore. Why do I need to work anymore?
Now,
why do I need to work? So let me just end it on this one. I think that the last one I have here is having a clear purpose by 30. I think that is such bullshit. I'm learning something now that purpose doesn't have to look tangible, and purpose can be literally you living now in the now and making time for play and making time for just existing. I feel like everybody now has just a mission statement attached to their name.
Everyone who's like, I don't feel a purpose, or I need to find a purpose for my life. And I don't like when people say that, mostly because I feel bad for them that they're in this way of thinking that they have to have a purpose. But your purpose is living, really. And
you're living.
You know, and you are living, I think. I think that's what it comes down to. And that also reflects into different stuff into life, and it can leak into your career, because I remember when I went to art school and I did motion graphic design, and this is only one example, by the way. There's plenty other examples, but this is one. There's a designer and an animator. You should probably choose which one you want to focus on instead of being both. And also my career, I do think if you're in a niche career, you can focus on one thing and get really good at it. But in my career, it helped me more that I was a jack of all trades, you know? It really depends on what your job is. There are good niches that if you master them, you'll get paid well, you know? For sure. But then there's other places where you need to stay on your toes, because I work in marketing and in tech. And since it's constantly changing, knowing a different skill and where I can jump in, I think you just got to sit there and think about it and do what you need to do for yourself. And I don't think there's any one way to do it. And then, people are just like, I just don't feel like I have a purpose. Or they're like, it really gets to them. I think, keep your purpose as you living.
I think it got to me. It got to me too at a certain point. And I feel like I've changed my tune. And I feel like as soon as I started like trying more things and experimenting more with my life instead of focusing on the career aspect of it, life started becoming more fulfilling. And literally just by me doing things that I really enjoy, my purpose started making more sense. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm just supposed to be here and have fun. I'm supposed to be here and enjoy the things,
have
whatever
hobbies
that may be.
Have some hobbies. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a million hobbies, but I feel like
try some shit.
Work isn't a hobby.
You never know what you're gonna love. Yes, please. Like, try some shit. I think I agree with you in that. Like, I feel like I wouldn't have my job if I wasn't a jack of all trades. If I didn't know so many things, and if I didn't have my toes in so many things, you know, I feel like I wouldn't have a job.
But also know your worth, though. Like, be careful with the jack of all trades. I'm just saying that. Know your worth.
That's true. That's true. Don't wear too many hats that they're not paying you for those many hats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Live your life. I think that's a good place to
30s is great. I think my 20s was learning myself, really. Now I'm just like, all right, let's just do shit.
Let's let her rip.
But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys are living your life. I want all of y'all to live your life and just have a good fucking time.
Live your fucking life.
The only person you should give a fuck is yourself. And the people important to you, I guess. But, you know, here we are. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Watch us on video or listen to us on YouTube and Spotify. You can find us on socials. TikTok and Instagram, all of those are at 30s Dirty Thoughtin. Send us an email at 30dirtythoughtin. We'll hopefully come to some other platform soon. I'm trying to figure that stuff out, but yeah, thank you for joining us for
See you next time.
Bye. Oh God, confetti. I'm gonna end on that.